Ohio State just won their first game of the 2023 season, but it did not play out anywhere near the way that I think any of us expected. They played against Indiana. They beat them 23-3. I was fully expecting that Kyle McCord, after winning a very close quarterback battle with Devin Brown, was going to explode onto the scene, as we've seen many Ohio State quarterbacks do, especially under Ryan Day in the past decade. They've all had amazing early starts to their careers. And I thought that this first game against a weak Big Ten opponent, Indiana of all teams, was going to be the start to resurgence and eventual path to them maybe making the college football playoff. That didn't happen in this game. Kyle McCord struggled. He made a lot of easy things look very difficult. And that to me is the biggest takeaway from this game. Now, before I go any further, I need to specify. I am not hitting the alarm button. I am not sitting here saying they are done for. They're not going to reach the college football playoff. They can't win any of their important Big Ten games. They're not going to win the Big Ten championship. I'm not going to sit here and do that because it's one game. A lot of things can be corrected after one game, and games like this against weak opponents allow you to go back, watch the film, figure out your mistakes, and improve on them. Kyle McCord has that opportunity. They have so much opportunity to improve after this game. But if he does not take those steps of improvement and he plays similar to the way that he played against Indiana, the worst team in the Big Ten, against Michigan and Penn State, Ohio State will not win those games. Ohio State fans, you should be understanding of where I'm coming from with this, that there needs to be a higher standard, especially with the history of the quarterback position under Ryan Day. There should be big, strong performances, not 20 for 33 for 239 yards and an interception with no touchdowns. Most importantly, what surprised me was the lack of involvement for Marvin Harrison Jr., who only had 2 receptions for 18 yards in this game. Kyle McCord played with Marvin Harrison Jr. in high school. I would have thought that there would have been some sense of reconnection there, a already established chemistry that would have just gone back to what we're used to seeing, especially because they've been practicing with one another. You would have thought that would have come out in this game. Now, I do understand that Marvin Harrison Jr. did get a little banged up early on in the game. I don't know if that was something that was lingering. He didn't seem like he was the same level of Marvin Harrison Jr. that we're used to seeing. But I will say he did appear to be open a good amount, and McCord wasn't exactly finding him often. That to me is one of the biggest red flags of this performance. Separate from a lot of questionable throws, and that interception was just terrible, terrible decision. Trying to roll out, thrown across his body. That was not a really very good play at all. But to not find your best playmaker consistently is a very odd choice. He did show some signs of life. He did show some good plays, a lot of connections with Cade Stover, who had an amazing game in this game. But at the same time, you got to find the best players on your team. I look at this entire receiving total. Not only did Marvin Harrison Jr. only have 18 receptions or 18 yards on 2 receptions, Emeka Egbuka had 3 receptions for 16 yards, which is an even more puzzling number. It's not like these guys weren't getting open. It's not like this was a backbreaker of a defensive performance by Indiana. We need to see better from Kyle McCord if they're going to win those important games down the line. But again, there's still time for him to make those improvements. I will say this, though, Buckeye fans, there is a lot of positivity that comes from that defensive performance. I know that it's just Indiana. I know that you can't really look into that win and that defensive game and say that's how they're going to play against Michigan, because Michigan is going to be a much better team than Indiana. But the way that front seven looked, the way that they got after the quarterback, the way that they dominated along the lines of scrimmage, that to me was a fantastic, fantastic performance. And I think that is going to be potentially a precursor for even more dominant days as this schedule progresses. Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Do you think I'm overreacting here? Should we be worried about Kyle McCord? Should they play Devin Brown more? Let me know. Drop a comment. Make sure you check out Bet Online for all of your sports betting needs. For anything that I do betting related, I go on over to betonline.ag and I use promo code BELIEVE50. BetOnline has all of the latest updated odds for the NFL and college football seasons. Anything you need, whether it's futures, live in-game betting, no matter what, your football betting needs are met at BetOnline. And again, make sure you use that promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50 to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.